May 19. Welcome at his table. At mealtime, Boaz said to her, "Come here and eat some bread and dip your morsel in the wine." So she sat beside the reapers, and he passed to her roasted grain. And she ate until she was satisfied, and she had some left over. Ruth chapter 2, verse 14. You and I are called to be bridges that span the gap between the experience of isolation and a life of divine acceptance. For Ruth, Boaz was that bridge. In the middle of a long workday, Boaz invited his workers to enjoy a meal. He also welcomed Ruth to eat among the established harvesters. It is easy to miss the significance of this. Ruth was a stranger, a foreigner, and a woman. Boaz's actions were unexpected and culturally counterintuitive. They were Christ-like. Boaz is an example of someone whose actions were the bridge between isolation and the acceptance God offers. As a Moabite, Ruth would have looked and acted differently from those in Bethlehem. Additionally, the widowed status of Ruth and Naomi would have isolated them in many social circles. But because God's love had filled his heart, Boaz disregarded any hint of prejudice he might have had and welcomed Ruth to his table. Boaz didn't stop at making sure Ruth felt comfortable by his actions alone. No, he also made sure the other workers were treating Ruth with acceptance and kindness, and he didn't leave her to struggle as she learned the skills of her new trade. He went above and beyond to provide and care for her. Do we do the same for unbelievers, new believers, or visitors at our churches? A Christian is by definition a recipient of God's covenant love. So a Christian ought to be the first one to include the outcast, the first one to say, "You're welcome here. We're glad you're here. Please participate. Will you join me?" We are called to stand against the tide of all too common selfish exclusivity and the equally pernicious habit of only spending time with and extending welcome to those who are like us. We find the bravery required to be a bridge and not a barrier when we look to our own acceptance by God in Christ. Boaz's inclusion of Ruth, despite her race, social standing, and lack of work experience, points to the eternal story of God's greatest welcome. The holy God called across the boundaries between Jew and Gentile, enslaved and free, saying to sinners, "Turn to me and be saved, all the ends of the earth." We must turn our gaze afresh to the cross, for there we learn what it means to be loved and welcomed by God. Only then will we be able to truly love and welcome others. So look at how God in Christ welcomes you to his table, and then ask yourself, how is his Spirit prompting me to step over a divide? Who is he calling me to make welcome at my table?
Devotional material is taken from the Truth for Life Daily Devotionals, copyright Alistair Begg, published by the Good Book Company. This reading was digitally created for Truth for Life and is used with permission. For more clear, relevant Bible teaching, visit truthforlife.org.